You suffered what you perceive to be an injury as a result of a doctor's care, and you want to go ahead and start a lawsuit the day after it happened. Can you do that? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a walk on the beach as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The answer in New York is absolutely not. Now you might be thinking, why not? I know that the doctor caused me injury. I don't have a big injury, I have some bruising, but the doctor was careless, and now he caused this injury. I want to go ahead and bring a lawsuit and try and obtain money as a form of compensation. Let's go ahead, start the case. I know I have a good case. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. Before an attorney in New York can go ahead and actually start a lawsuit on your behalf, unlike in a car accident case, we can't start a case the next day. You want to know why? It's because the law requires us to have a medical expert confirm that, number one, your doctor was careless. He violated the basic standards of medical care. Number two, we have to confirm that the carelessness, we have to confirm that the doctor's wrongdoing was a cause of your injury. It doesn't have to be the cause, it has to be a cause. And then we have to show that your injuries are significant and or permanent. There is no attorney that I know of who's going to accept a case that involves minor injuries. Now, what do I mean by minor? Bruising, I would consider to be minor injuries. Why? Because hopefully that's something that will resolve in a couple of weeks. When an attorney evaluates a possible medical malpractice case, they are looking to see whether you, the injured patient, the injured victim, have significant, lifelong, permanent, disabling injuries. Why? Because we have to show all three elements. We have to show that there's liability, causation, and damages. We have to show that the doctor was careless and that his carelessness caused you harm and injury, and that your injuries are significant. You know, most people don't understand that lawyers and law firms run a business. And it does not make financial sense for an attorney to take on a case that has limited potential reward for both you, the injured patient, and the attorney and his law firm. It just doesn't make any sense. The attorney, we put in the same time, effort, energy, and invest our resources to prosecute your case. And if we know at the very outset that the maximum amount that we could ever get you is a small minimal amount based upon this small minor injury that you suffered, I don't know of any attorney in New York who'd be willing to take on a case like that. Why? Because it doesn't make financial sense. An attorney is looking for a case that has significant long-term injuries, significant disabilities, significant damages. You're out of work for X number of years. That's critically important for an attorney to evaluate. So don't think for a second that just because you suffered the indignity of something not being done for you, or you weren't given your records, or you suffered the problem of bruising or some other minor injury because of something the doctor did wrong, and you're so vehement, you're like, but the doctor was careless, and the doctor's carelessness caused me this injury. That may all be true, but the reality is, you can't go ahead and start a lawsuit the next day, and even if you could, I don't know of any attorney who would take on a minimal case like that. So instead, we have to get a medical expert who reviews all of your records, not just some, but all of your medical records, to then confirm that the doctor was careless, that his carelessness was a cause of your injury, and that your injuries are significant. Without all of that, it becomes impossible, and we are prevented from starting a lawsuit on your behalf. So now, you may be familiar. Now, you may have the perception that if you were involved in a car accident in New York, you could go to an attorney the following day and he could literally start a case on your behalf the next day. Not true with a medical malpractice case. These cases take many months in order to properly evaluate, in order to determine whether you have a valid case. And only after we get confirmation by a medical expert, the attorney will then determine the extent of your injuries and make a decision about whether this is a case he'd be willing to invest his time, effort, and energy. So don't think for a second that just because you suffered a minor quick injury as a result of whatever the doctor did or didn't do to you, you can't go ahead and file a case the next day And without substantial injuries, it's going to be very difficult to find an attorney to take on your case. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you so you can see the beautiful scenery? No. I share it with you just to open your eyes, to let you know what actually goes on in these medical malpractice cases in New York. You know, I recognize you likely have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you are thinking about bringing a lawsuit, and you do have significant, substantial damages and injuries, and you do have significant, substantial damages and injuries, and are thinking about bringing a case, but you haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.